What up, guys? So, if you're like me and like a lot of other people, you probably had a dream at some point of just kind of sailing around the Caribbean, island hopping, just kind of living the island lifestyle. And, so what? So, you still got to work. There's just something about surf, sun, maybe a little rum, just hanging out. There's just something romantic about that ideal or whatever. And maybe you're somebody that doesn't necessarily want to settle down in one spot long term. You'd like to visit a lot of places. Well, much of the Caribbean has, or many of the islands in the Caribbean, the independent nations, do have digital nomad visas. And it's set up so that realistically you can't really take a digital nomad visa and turn it into potential residency and citizenship for most of the islands. But a lot of them do let you stay for up to a couple years, and you could realistically spend 20 years just bouncing around between different Caribbean islands. And by then, you could just repeat the whole process if you wanted to. So it is a viable option to just kind of float around the Caribbean if you wanted to. And so I wanted to get into all of the Caribbean islands that offer a digital nomad visa and take it from there. Now, I'm not including the islands that don't have a digital nomad visa, but they have something that might be close to it. Sometimes there's a work freelancer visa or whatever. I'm not getting into any of those. It gets a little, because then you have to go over different specifications and requirements, whatever. So we're just going to get into the islands, the island nations that have a digital nomad visa and go from there. And now the good thing is a lot of these countries, the application process is not only streamlined, but it is quick. Some of them only take, a few days at most. Sometimes you'll be told whether you're approved or not the same day. So these are quick and, bim, bam, boom, you can do it. And a lot of times before you leave the previous island, you can apply for the next island. So you don't even have to return to the States or wherever else you're from. The first country right out of the gate is Anguilla. You are good for up to a year with this island, and hang out for a year. And we can go to the next one. Now, these are all in alphabetical order. The next one is Antigua and Barbuda. Now, this one is a little more pricey for the amount of money you have to have and demonstrate your financial income. I'll do different videos about each individual country with digital nomad visa and what you need to apply for them, but I will highlight which countries are this is expensive. And Antigua and Barbuda is one of those that you have to demonstrate at least $50,000, but I believe to realistically qualify you have to have more than that. Anyways, after that you can island hop down, over to the Bahamas. The Bahamas is, in terms of length of time, is one of the best options. You can extend your stay in the Bahamas for up to 3 years. I'm pretty sure that is the longest digital nomad visa length of time for any of the countries, which is great. If you live in the Bahamas, fantastic. It's not the cheapest option, but if that's just your vibe, you can do that. There's a lot of infrastructure set up from, people bringing in all the tourist money anyways. Granted, that also usually means it's a little more expensive, but if you like the Bahamas, you like the Bahamas. You can stay there for 3 years. Look, we're already up to 5 years in the Caribbean, and we're only through 3 countries. Not bad. Next, Barbados. You can, hang out in Barbados for a year, chill. Then from there, go to the Cayman Islands. Now, look, as you might expect, the Cayman Islands, again, expensive. You're going to have at least $100,000 of annual income just to qualify for this digital nomad visa. They don't want any cheapskates. And although it is good for 2 years. So, if you can swing it, if you can afford it, this is probably going to be your most expensive location. With a digital nomad visa, there are other islands in the Caribbean that will be more expensive, but they don't offer DNV. So anyways, we're up to about 8 years if you can swing all of it. If not, don't worry about it. But there you go. Then you have Curacao. That is just off the coast of South America. Now, the good thing with Curacao is it is low enough or south enough where you're going to miss pretty much all of the hurricane activities, which is great because even though you want to island hop, being on some of those Caribbean islands when the hurricane season hits, you might not want to do that. But of course, there's other options in Central and South America that you can bounce out to during hurricane season if you really want to do. But yeah, so Curacao is a great option. Initially, you're given a visa, the digital nomad visa, for up to 6 months, but you can extend it out to up to a year, and that is a Dutch kind of form a Dutch colony. So there is a very kind of European meets Caribbean vibe to it. I'd almost say more so than any other island nation in the Caribbean. For very strict, has that Netherlands kind of feel to it. Now there are a lot of overseas territories, specifically from the French, the Netherlands, and the British. The United States does have the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. But the other places, they have many island nations. And one thing you'll find is a lot of the European nations, their countries, the overseas territories don't generally give digital nomad visas. So the Curacao option is one of the few that you can actually qualify for. Again, up to a year, but there you go. Next is Dominica, not Dominican Republic, Dominica. You're good for up to 18 months, which is really rather interesting time frame. Usually it's they go by years, but you're good for 18 months. Dominican Republic does not have a digital nomad visa, but they do have some of the more affordable investment visas and golden visa options if you're interested more in a long-term solution. But again, we're just talking about island hopping, boom, 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 all over the place. 18 months here, so you can chill for 18 months. From Dominica, you can island hop a little more and go to Grenada, and for there, it's up to 2 years for the digital nomad visa. You'll generally find for the vast majority, you will be able to stay between 1 year and 2 years. That's kind of the sweet spot. They usually, they might let you extend from 1 year, reapply, go to a second year, but almost very few let you go further than 2 years, except for the Bahamas, which you can get for 3 years. And then, okay, so you have Montserrat. Montserrat is British. It's an overseas territory for the British. And this is, again, one of the more expensive options where if you're looking for a budget, this is not a place to go. But I'm just throwing all of the options out there. Again, this is going to be one where you're going to have at least like $100,000 to qualify. And, maybe if you're looking for the wealthy spots, then yeah, you can go from the Cayman Islands to Montserrat and kind of, float around between that area. Those are options, but yeah. And then lastly, you have St. Lucia. St. Lucia, again, you're going to hang out for about a year or so. And then, if you're able to hit all these up, you're looking at a solid 15 years of just, island hopping. By then, you can just go back and restart the whole process. Granted, there will probably be some changes within the 15 years. You can also sneak in some of the U.S. territories if you want to kind of space things out. But in terms of being able to easily go to a different country, 30-minute plane ride sometimes, a ferry ride to others, very easy. It's just, I don't know, an option that I want to throw out because I know some people for digital nomad visas, it's really just about kind of going to one place, staying there for 6 months, a year, going to the next place, and then kind of just seeing the world until something really sticks out and be like, I want to live here for good. If you have a feeling that the Caribbean might be that kind of thing for you, then you got plenty of options to choose from. And the good thing is a lot of these countries also have pretty decent retirement visas, golden visas, and stuff like that. So yeah, if you love the island lifestyle, you can absolutely do that in the Caribbean. And this was just a little taste of the Caribbean options that you can go to and apply for a digital nomad visa. But I will get into the individual countries more thoroughly, and we can go country by country and look at the options and perks and not so great alternatives and all that stuff. But anyways, like, subscribe, do all the good stuff, and for now, I'll just catch you guys later. See ya.